Welcome to the Hey Docs podcast with your host, Jill Allen. Today we're joined by Alexis Barclay from Smiles Change Lives to talk about how orthodontists can give back while strengthening their practices. We'll dive into the story behind Smiles Change Lives, how the program works, the benefits of getting involved, and the impact it's making nationwide. If you're looking for a meaningful way to change lives through orthodontics, this episode is for you. Let's get started. This episode was brought to you by ADEC. Hey docs, on this podcast, I talk about a lot of different ways you can set your practice apart. But here's one that might surprise you. Maybe you haven't thought about it before, but the equipment you use can make a big difference, not just for the patient experience, but for you and your team too. That's why I want to let you know about a new line of orthodontic equipment from ADEC. I visited their headquarters in Oregon earlier this year to take a sneak peek for myself, and I have to say, I was impressed. ADEC has manufactured award-winning dental equipment for 60 plus years, and they're bringing that same level of excellence to ortho. From comfortable, compact patient chairs to a versatile workstation and delivery to ergonomic dental stools, ADEC orthodontic equipment is designed for a smooth and easy workflow. Day after day, patient after patient, see the difference it can make for your practice. Click the link in our show notes to learn more about ADEC Orthodontic Solutions. Alexis, I am so excited to have you on Hey Docs with me. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, this is gonna be great. I've been looking forward to talking with you and just talking about Smiles Change Lives. I know many of us know the company and know about what you guys do, but in the event that somebody does not know about you or know about Smiles Change Lives, I'm wondering if you could just start us off by telling us a little bit about the mission and the vision and also just yourself.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, Smiles Change Lives started 28 years ago. We're actually the oldest orthodontic access to care program in the world. We started in 1997 with the UMKC School of Dentistry, who are a bunch of rock stars out there. Dr. Kelly Toombs in Prairie Village, Kansas, who is our founding orthodontist, who was just a wonderful human being, got together with my boss, Tom Brown, discussing how they can help about 12 to 16 kids in the Kansas City metro area. Tom Brown's mother, Virginia Brown, when she grew up around the Depression, her and her sister needed braces, and their parents only had money for one of the sisters to get braces. And Virginia, unfortunately, drew the short straw and was unable to get the orthodontic help that she needed, and she was bullied because of that. We all know that kids can be mean. And so she was called Snaggletooth and Dracula and stuff like that when she was young. And her dream was always to help kids when her ship came in, basically. And fast forward 50 years, her ship came in and she set up a foundation in Kansas City. And we were there to help, like I say, 12 to 16 kids.
Wow.
And what we found out very quickly with our board of doctors and others, that there was no orthodontic program, no national orthodontic program. So we took that opportunity. We quickly got into Southwest Florida, Minnesota, St. Louis. We just had an array of incredible doctors join on with us. And long story short, by 2005, we got into all 50 states. We've worked with over 1,000 doctors. And as of recent counts, we've worked with over 20,000 families.
Wow.
Which is, it's gone beyond all of our imaginations. As for me, I joined with Smiles about 17 years ago. Many gray hairs ago and things like that. I hail, if you can't tell, from England via South Kansas City. And I grew up in the 80s in England. So it's in the 80s in England, there was one of the largest economic situations in British history. And my parents were unemployed. My family was actually put on the homeless register when I was very small. I don't remember this stuff. Good for the parents.
Yeah.
And understanding that economic dispersal and knowing that we we wanted to hand up. We didn't want to hand out, which is the way Smiles Change Lives works.
Yeah.
And also, I was a child of the 80s into the 90s. I was a big Beatles fan when I was a kid. So I had the Beatles haircut. I was a little bit tubby for my age, as I still am for 46 years old.
Stop.
And my mum gave me a briefcase to take to high school, which was thanks, mum. So I was picked on a little bit when I was a kid. So those two different things really got me passionate about what we do at Smiles Change Lives,
Sure.
and allowed me to speak with the parents that I speak with, understanding some of the social situations that our kids go through. So that's about it in a nutshell. That's my story and our story.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And I think what is so neat is truly how Smiles Change Lives has made such an incredible impact in the orthodontic world. And just to hear you say the numbers of families and lives truly that have been affected. And I would agree with you that, there is no harder time for anybody, I don't think, than those young grade school into teen and high school years. And gosh, it's hard enough just as it is, figuring out who you are and, where you're going. And then to have something like your teeth make it something where, it just gives somebody else more ammunition to pick on you or to make it harder it breaks my heart to hear it. And I know it happens.
It's out there, unfortunately, and I'm a father of 3 wonderful kiddos, and it's always that heartbreaking, please don't let that happen to my kid kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we all know the smile is the window into our souls and all of that kind of stuff. And through the pandemic and the Zoom meetings and all that kind of stuff, we're right here in front of a camera. So this is very easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. So being able to give these kids confidence it's a huge blessing on all of us.
Yeah.
Working together, we can help more and more kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that. So, for orthodontists who are out there who may or may not know much about the foundation and kind of how it works, I'm wondering if you can talk about that, what it means to get involved. What does it mean for them to partner with you? What kind of commitment is required?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, we don't ask for your firstborn or anything like that. We don't. There's no finances or anything like that. We don't ask for your bank numbers or anything. We want your expertise and your helping these kids, which we know is very important. So we have tried to knock down every single barrier that we've been able to face. We work with orthodontists every day. We're always asking the question of, how do we make this easier? Who can we work with? What kind of partners? What do we need to do? And so it's a simple sign up process. Like I say, no money involved or anything like that. And as far as helping kids, we have doctors that help one child a year. We're not here to over obligate anyone. We want to make sure that our program works with the size of your practice, what you want to do with it, and the benefits that come from that outside of helping a child, which is one of the greatest things you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially some of the more bullied children, and putting that positivity out into the world. You're able to set your practice up as a cornerstone of community giving. It's a differentiator, as some of the marketers that I speak with say. They don't say it like that because I've got a bad lisp, but it does. It shows a difference in what you're able to do in comparison to some other doctors. Ultimately, we want every orthodontist in the world doing this. We've got a 3-pronged approach. We want to help the kids, we want to help their parents, but we want to help doctors. We want to help the orthodontic industry be able to get out there and say, hey, look what we're doing. We're out here helping kids. We care. And to be able to do that, like I say, we try and bring down all of the barriers that come with that, whether it's costs, hardware, things like that. Some of our business partners will work with you to help allay a lot of the costs associated with treatment. Also, our families do understand that they may be in a low peak appointment slot. So if you have that 10:30 in the morning and 11 o'clock where you don't have anything going on and your team's just chatting it up and all that kind of stuff, we've got kids here to help. These kids and they are desperately in need of help. We have those conversations every single day. And going back to the heartbreak of it, and this is not to make anyone feel bad, but when you hear it from the horse's mouth, and one of the things Smiles Change Lives does is we hear it so you don't have to. We want the positive energy going to the offices and the people that are doing the work, because it's so important. And the end result is always a tear in the eye. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's a good tear.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I am curious, how do patients get to you so that then you are able to get them to the doctors? Or is it the doctors that have to do the work to get the patients to you?
No, it's a great question. So there's a couple of different ways. Generally, what we find is a lot of Google searches. How do I afford braces, affordable braces, free braces, etc., etc. And that's where we come in to be that stopgap. That's one of the bigger ways we do it. And then the application process lives to put people in buckets to a certain extent.
Sure.
The other way is, and what I've heard from a lot of doctors that they love about the program is that someone may come into your practice and say, "Doc, I can't afford it. I just can't afford it," which is a horrible conversation to have.
Yep.
And a horrible position to be in when you're discussing payment plans and stuff like that. And what they like doing is saying, "Hey, look, I'm a Smiles Change Lives provider. Go ahead and apply. And then we'll look at the application, make sure that everything's in order. And then we can generally fast track that patient, because usually doctor likes patient at that point.
Yeah.
And then we come in and say, "Hey, there's a green light here. Let's go. Let's get these kids taken care of." And that's a little bit of a different crease on our program. We call that the fast track program. And that is straight up to the doctor's choice or their staff. But yeah, the majority of ways people find us are going to be through Facebook ads or Google ads, stuff along those lines. And then they'll find their way onto our website, and it's a step-by-step process. This is a big team effort. This is not just about Smiles Change Lives. This is about us taking care of one side of it and then the office taking care of the other side of it.
Yeah. And I know that this is probably a very obvious question, but sometimes it's good to talk about that. The one thing that I just want to make sure our listeners understand is this is different than saying, "Hey, I want to sign up to be a Medicaid provider for my area." This is truly you are choosing to take on one or two, whatever that looks like, from what I understand. And they're not being reimbursed financially to treat these patients. They're instead looking at it as a way to give back to the community or to give back to patients. Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely, yeah, on the nose. Our currency is good vibes.
I love that.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a pro bono outreach on the doctor's behalf. How we're able to bump that up is, as a nonprofit, as working with a group, we were able to open certain doors into certain kind of PR situations. I've been on the phone this morning to newspapers in certain different areas, saying, "Hey, look, let's get this doctor on the front page. They're doing some incredible work." And it's a lot easier for me as a nonprofit to open those doors than it is for a for-profit business to shine the light on themselves.
Yeah.
And also that centralized location for where your giving is, and able to keep up with the patients that you're treating. And like I say, there's a lot of the boundaries where I'm paying for brackets, or I'm paying for this, or I'm not going to take a paying patient out of my chair. Those kinds of things. And those are the kinds of things that we try and get to quickly. So we work with American Orthodontics, Allure Orthodontics, a slew of hardware companies.
It's great.
Will donate brackets for every Smiles Change Lives kid. They're just incredible business partners. That again, it's a big team effort, and the result of that team effort is we're getting a smile on a child's face. And
yeah,
I don't know about anyone else, but I can't think of anything better in the world. It
and
really is the best.
And what I love about that is it is truly, you are intrinsically pouring into somebody else's life, and you just never know where that person, like what that random act of kindness is going to do in the future. And I can remember, as many people know, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I can even remember one of the docs that I worked with having a patient come in, and very nice, educated young adult, but just tough time in life with their smile and all of that. And one of the things that was holding them back from pursuing some things that they wanted to pursue was the judgment that came along from their smile isn't nice, so therefore they must not be smart. And that's like the farthest thing from the truth. But isn't it so sad that
we really, truly, unfortunately, as a society, probably one of the best currencies you have is your smile. And then, what you can do with that from a personality standpoint. And gosh, just being able to open up the doors that I truly believe might not be there for kids or young adults or adults later on in life if they don't have that opportunity to be taken seriously sometimes, or to be thought of as something beyond, oh gosh, look at their messed up teeth, versus, oh gosh, let me look at this person as a person and not what I'm seeing.
Absolutely. And the thank you notes that we get from parents, from the kids, speak to that
Mhm.
over again. And it really is. And we all know life ain't easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy to get jaded out there. It's very easy to get knocked down and not be able to get back up. We are trying to work together to be able to give a reason to get back up. And it's not just for the kid, it's for the parent. It's empowering the parents, it's empowering the grandparents. Families want to see their kids do well, and speaking to all the parents out there, we all understand we want the best for our kids. And when you can't do the best for your kids, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Shout out to my parents for having to deal with me, but
Yeah.
but it's absolutely incredible. And that empowerment, like I say, it doesn't just go to the kid, it goes to the family, it goes to me, it goes to my whole team.
Yeah.
It goes to the doctor, it goes to their team. It's a ripple effect that is built with positivity that gets me emotional thinking about it. So
Yeah.
it's a great thing. And all we can do is get more and more. The water's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. One of the things I'm curious about is we've talked about how docs can get involved a little bit, but let's just say somebody's, you know what, Jill, this is exactly what I needed to hear. I have a lot of young listeners that are younger in their practices, and they may be thinking, oh, I'm sure I've got to be an established practice or a bigger practice to do this. Can you talk a little bit? Do you only want certain doctors or certain doctors that have been practicing for so long, or what does that really look like?
And now, a word from the sponsors who make this podcast possible. Hey, docs. If you want to have a great business, the right practice management software is essential. But some can be slow, outdated, and lacking good support. That's why I recommend Greyfinch to all orthodontists. It's the fastest, most reliable, and most secure platform to grow your business and improve your efficiency. It's completely web-based, so you can run your entire practice anywhere and from any device, with no servers, no downloads, or hidden fees. They even have the most helpful and responsive support team around. Right now, Greyfinch is giving a $500 discount to our listeners. Visit greyfinch.com/Jill Allen to learn more and see why it's one of the fastest growing providers in America. Hey docs, let's talk about Smile Suite, because it's not just another scheduling system. It's a game changer in the world of new patient management. And as a proud Smile Suite partner, I've witnessed the incredible impact it has on practices of all sizes. Smile Suite means your new patient calls and web leads are expertly handled 7 days a week, even during nights and weekends. And they offer top-notch customizable presentation software and seamless post-consultation follow-up. It's like having a secret weapon for your practice's success. Curious? Dive into the revolution at GetSmileSuite.com. And don't forget to mention Hey Docs to unlock some extra goodies. Elevate your practice with Smile Suite, because every smile deserves a suite of excellence.
It is open to all licensed orthodontists.
Mm-hmm.
We work with only orthodontists at this point. We do not work with general dentists or anyone else doing orthodontia. We want to make sure that we are getting a good quality of treatment. And no, you don't have to have been a doctor for 10 years or 5 years. We take all, in fact, there's a really good argument to be made for new doctors, especially if you're brand new, you've just opened your practice, you don't have many patients. These are things that I never thought that I would think about 17 years ago. But as far as one of the advantages is, if you get any kids in your chair, you are starting a referral network.
Yep.
Not, we want to help these kids, and it's difficult to take off a hat and put on another hat. But the bottom line is, if you don't have any kids in that chair, you don't have anyone.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone talking about you. With Smiles Change Lives, I've actually had new doctors that are just absolute startups out of school, wonderful people, and they have taken more cases than very established doctors because they understand the business side of it.
Yep.
Which is getting that good word of mouth going, getting that little newspaper article, getting on the local news, and pushing themselves. We just had an event out in Woodbury, Virginia, which was a startup organization, and these guys were absolutely wonderful and excited, and they were able to get their staff on the site. When you get your staff, you're throwing out these good vibes everywhere.
Yep.
And you're able to, because of that, you're able to get a little bit of media love as well, which only helps to finding, if people are looking through which doctor I'm going to go to, they're going to want to go to the one that's just helped a bunch of kids. And so that's another string to the bow, I guess it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, things that I would never have thought about before, but this is what we do.
Yep.
We think about every good reason why to help.
Yeah.
And take down those boundaries. Why not to?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I think you bring up such a good point, especially with startups or docs that are maybe taking over an acquisition practice where maybe it's just a slower practice or a smaller practice. You already spoke to, this is a great way to put patients in, is in the times where you already know you're going to be slow. Why not use that as a bonus appointment and just like putting good energy out there to the universe? I love that good vibe currency there. But also just, it really is. And I think anybody who's listening that's a client of mine, we do know that in our first couple of years, it's about brand awareness. And we are just trying to get people aware of us. And the more people you have talking about you, and just because somebody can't afford this and is in this program doesn't mean that they don't know people, and doesn't mean that they aren't going to speak highly of you and send their friends and their family and talk great to their dentist about how great you are. And so I think, yes, there's the intrinsic part of wanting to help somebody else and just be a good person. But I also think there is that, to what you're speaking of, is we can look at this as, could that be just one more little avenue of us working on growing our business and having a side of our business that is, for helping others, and whether it's one case or 5 cases, whatever that looks like. I think everyone's got to think about what they can actually do. But gosh, I just think, how could your life not be a little bit more fulfilled or just a little bit better, knowing that if you do one a year, that's 10 people, 20 people's lives that you've impacted. That's pretty cool.
And this is what I've heard from a lot of doctors, from the horse's mouth, as it were, and a lot of office managers and treatment coordinators, and all the way down the line. We hear this all the time, how uplifting it is. You go to work, I don't want to go to work. But then you go to work and you go, hey, we've got little Johnny coming in.
Yeah.
Little Johnny wouldn't be able to get the smile he has if it wasn't for us. That's a reason to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
And you can take that into your own life. I do every single day when I'm just staring at the ceiling going, oh man, it's snowing outside, it's cold, I don't want to do this. There's a reason to do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And everyone, and that's what we're here for. We're here to try and help those. Like I say, the currency is good vibes. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to make a sticker. We do lots of stickers in our company. I'm going to make a good vibe sticker and bring it your way and put it on your table for you guys.
Oh, I love it. All
We've talked about how docs can be a part of this program. Let's talk about the logistics of, what does it look like if somebody's out there saying, you know what, I want to do this. I want to take that challenge. I want to change somebody's life. I want to be a part of this. I want this to be a foundation for my practice that I know, even if it's just one person a year, I want to be able to do something like this. What does that look like? What is the onboarding process? How long does it take? Can you talk us through that?
Yes. If you can't tell by my face, I'm very much keep it simple, stupid. I try and make sure that we are making it as easy as possible. You can go to our website at www.smileschangelives.org, and there is a tab that says For Orthos. Under that, there's a provider agreement. We just need to get some information, get you in our system. And then I'll do a quick orientation, run through the process with Dr. hopefully the entire team. The best one is to get the whole team on the
Yeah.
on board and raise that positivity. But that's after that orientation, we figure out how many kids you'd like to take, when you'd like to take them. So I'm not always bothering you or anything like that. And then at that point, we start the process. You'll get photographs that afternoon
Oh,
of your first kiddo.
oh, that's great. It really is simple. You guys have made it easy. There's really nothing that's stopping you from making this a part of your practice, it sounds like.
No hurdles there. And if you're lucky enough to meet me at one of these upcoming meetings, then I make it super, super simple because we go through that whole process at that moment.
Ah, I love that. This is great. And I am just so excited that we were able to come together and talk about this on Hey Docs, because I really do believe there are a lot of doctors out there that want to help, but they don't know how to help and or don't understand the process of it, or maybe haven't had an opportunity to run across you guys at one of the conferences yet. And I think especially for a lot of my young docs, money's tight, so we can only make it to a certain amount of conferences. And so I think that this is great to have had you on. And
thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, just to be able to see how easy it is. And I'm going to challenge my docs that are out there listening. You guys can do this, even if it's just one patient a year. Just think about that. Giving back is, we all just gave back one patient. How many lives we really truly could be impacting out there.
Absolutely. And again, that ripple effect, and we're super fun to work with as well. We all have a good time getting these vibes out there, getting this positivity out there.
Yeah.
Simple and the best positive outcome.
Yeah, this is great. Alexis, thanks for taking time to just run us through the program. And I am sure you're going to have doctors that are going to be out there reaching out. And like I said, I'm serious. I'm going to make a good vibes sticker for you guys. So
looking forward to it. Absolutely. I love it. I don't know why we didn't think about it before.
As the way I like to finish up Hey Docs is I always love for us to do a little speed round. So are you ready for the speed round challenge?
I'm all in. Hopefully it's my subject.
Okay, here we go. What is one business trend you think people should be paying more attention to?
Honestly, the one thing with Smiles Change Lives that I know that we've been looking at a lot more lately is when we get a kid that applies to us in a remote area where there aren't any orthodontists, figuring out the trend of remote monitoring.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and aligner therapy, as it were. And luckily we're working with Grin, we're working with a couple of other guys, Align Technology themselves, to try and help those guys. And obviously it's a big spark in the industry. But I've been blown away. If you look away from the orthodontic industry for 5 minutes, a million things happen. But that's one that I have been absolutely blown away by. And the fact that we are now able to help some of these kiddos is absolutely just a wonderful thing.
I love that. I love that. I hope you guys can continue to figure that out, because that is just a cool thing. And we are in such a good time for us to be able to, I'm sure, figure that hurdle out for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, that technology is incredible.
Yes. Let's go with the next one. What is the most unexpected lesson you've learned in your career?
Unexpected. It would be more along the lines of figuring out the reasons why not. I would never have thought that we would have to put so much work into figuring the reasons why versus the reasons why not. And that's not negative. It's just, it was unexpected in the world of trying to figure out how to get people to come on board.
Sure.
And you mentioned Medicaid earlier, and the difference that people need to understand that Smiles Change Lives is not a Medicaid organization. Little things like that, they were unexpected. And every now and then I'll be at a meeting and I'll have someone say, I'm a Medicaid doctor, that's my give back. That's somewhat unexpected on my part.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, absolutely. All right. What is one industry challenge you think will shape the future of your work?
I'll go back to the remote monitoring thing. Honestly, since 2025 has started, it was something that we had on the top of our list of things that we need to really key in on. And it will ultimately, if we can have doctors not just treating kids in remote areas, but kids that need to move.
Yeah.
It is a really big issue for us. If someone's, say, in Chicago and they're moving to South Dakota, trying to find continued treatment
Oh,
for
I
that
bet.
kid is absolutely, it's just a nightmare. And it's heartbreaking when that happens. Now, with remote monitoring and things of that nature, we don't have to worry about that anymore. We can actually complete the treatment those ways.
Yeah.
So I think that's, that way it would be right on those lines.
Yeah, I love that. And then we'll finish it up with, if you had unlimited resources, what's one big idea you'd bring to life?
I'm a big dreamer. People say I'm not the only one, to quote the late, great John Lennon. My dream with unlimited resources would be to get every orthodontist in North America to treat at least 2 kids. And if you put a monetary value on that, it's somewhere around $40 million worth of treatment.
Wow.
And I think that shakes trees everywhere. I think that shakes trees for the orthodontic industry. I think that obviously it helps almost 20,000 kids a year.
Yeah.
Which is just, that's the goal. And then in that, if we had unlimited resources, we would be able to promote the doctors that are doing it. And so it's just a reciprocal grin situation, as we like to call it.
Grin. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's the dream. So let's get on board and let's all do it together.
Let's do it. I love it. I love that. Thank you so much for being on Hey Docs with us. And I'm very excited that we were able to do this episode. And I'm right on board with you. I think that this is something that is so easy for all of us to do. And let's take that challenge. 1, 2, just two patients. That's great. Thanks again for being on Hey Docs. And I look forward to seeing you at one of the conferences coming up.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.